Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I remember when the Russians overwhelmed Mariupol, and then they overwhelmed Soledar, then they overwhelmed Bakhmut/Artemovsk. The mass media did the same thing. First, when the Russians were attacking and trying to capture these cities, the Ukrainian mass media and the free world's mass media were claiming, fierce battles over there. The Russians are attacking, the Ukrainians are defending. Very important strategic position. The Russians will never take it. Then they said, after a while, the Russians are relentlessly flatten the earth over there. They destroy the whole city, the buildings, civilians, infrastructure, all that, but we're still fighting. Then when the Russians were on a verge of capturing the city, then you started hearing titles like this. Well, even if the Russians might take the city, it's not important. It's not a strategic, Before that, it was very important that the Ukrainians defend it. When they were losing, then losing for a while, not the second they started losing, for a while, then they started saying, even if the Russians could take it, might capture it, unimportant. Like the sour grapes little story. I can't reach them? They're not even good. The same here. We got to Avdiivka. Avdiivka is almost encircled, I would say, and I said this for almost about 2 months. Avdiivka is done. 2 months ago I said, is done. But these guys thought, the same with the counteroffensive, that they should hold off with the news. You remember the counteroffensive? They didn't come and tell us, we started the counteroffensive in Zaporozhye. Nah, they waited about 10 days. Because they couldn't win. And they couldn't come and say, we broke all the Russians' defenses, and we are almost in Berdyansk right now, or in Mariupol. But they didn't, so they held off. The Russians were saying the counteroffensive is in full swing, nothing happens, we resist, screw them. Now we got Avdiivka, and they're to the point where they come and say, even if the Russians capture it, it's unimportant. So they prepare us for saying, we lost Avdiivka. Let me show you. And this information doesn't come from the Ukrainians, because they don't want to say it, we concede, we lost it. It comes from some other people. Let me show you here. Ukrainska Pravda. Russians might capture Avdiivka, but it will only be a tactical success. Estonian General Staff. How do you know, Estonia? Are you there? Of course they are there. Of course they are there. This is from Friday, the 22nd of December, 2023. Colonel Termo Kundla, head of the Operations Department of the Estonian Defense Forces General Staff, believes that Russia is currently on the offensive at the combat zone in Ukraine, but the capture of several settlements will not bring its success at the operational level. So he's saying, even if these guys are winning over there, and it means nothing. But if the Ukrainians would have won this, guarantee would be like, oh my God, they're on their way to Moscow right now. Putin moved to Vladivostok right now. Kundla reported the Russian forces are still making progress all the way down to the Ukrainian front line. In particular, they have been making progress in the villages to the north and south of the city of Avdiivka. Let me show you where that is. North and south, because they are trying to encircle it. That's why they're not going to go through it. And here is in Donetsk Oblast right here. This is Avdiivka. Now this is where the Russians are. There are even more if you use other media outlets or other maps. And this is Avdiivka, almost there. So of course in the north and south. That means they're expanding this, and then they're just going to cut them off, and is game over. Checkmate. All right, so he says, and I'm quoting, the fall of Avdiivka is possible. Oh my God, really? But it also depends on the decision of Ukraine. That is, when the Ukrainians are going to do what exactly? Retreat? I think they are beyond that point. They can't retreat. Like Mariupol. Remember what happened in Mariupol? The Russians cut they couldn't retreat. They couldn't, the bridges, they were done, burnt. So they encircled them, about 2,600 people. And then after a while of just jerking off there in the catacombs of Azovstal, the Ukrainians came out and said, we surrender. No, we didn't surrender. We come out. We come out because we fulfilled all the orders, and the operation was like what? Staying like rats in over there was garbage. They should have left a long time ago. But hey, they got surrounded, and they did what? Hands up. All right, let's move on. The same here. If the Russian troops manage to capture the city, and they will, then this is a tactical victory that is well presented to the public. Are they supposed to minimize it or something? Would you minimize it? No. But it does not give a large operational level of success, he said at the briefing of the Estonian Ministry of Defense on Friday. Of course not. The same guy pointed out that Marinka, a city south of Avdiivka, might also be taken over by the Russian forces in the upcoming weeks. I think they already know is over and is dead, floating downstream. This is Marinka right here. It's floating downstream right here, and they know it. And this fall, what's going to happen next? They go towards what? Krasnomaersk? Is that where they're going to go? And then from there, where? Just complete the whole thing here, and that would be it. All right, let's move on. The Estonian General Staff representative claimed that since Ukraine has established new defensive positions west of the city, west, that means retreat, there are no serious threats to it in the event that it decides to withdraw from Avdiivka in order to preserve manpower. They will not be able to leave Avdiivka. And I'm quoting, in summary, the war of attrition continues. Russia has the initiative, and its units are finding tactical success in some areas of the front line, while it comes at a considerable cost. But it does not give them operational success, Kundla said. I mean, he would have been decapitated if he would have said something else. Earlier, UK Defense Intelligence stated that in recent weeks, Ukraine has mobilized efforts to improve its fortifications as it switched to a more defensive position along much of the front line. That is, and I covered that in one of my videos, we are backing off, like right here. We're backing off, going towards to the west, behind right here, and building new fortifications. That's good. I said this for some time. Don't risk another Mariupol, which I think is already done. They will not be able to. Remember when Mariupol was taken? Let me show you. They encircle them in the Azovstal. Let me just, right here. Mariupol is right here. They encircle them in Mariupol, in Azovstal, a steel plant, and they were done. And this is by Azov, the Sea of Azov, right here. They were done, and the same they said, well, we completed the operation. Otherwise, we would have been starved over there and kill one another to eat each other's flesh. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. These things are done. Sooner or later, they will come and say it. Now, they're not saying it yet, like bluntly. But I'm expecting in no more than a week to come and say, well, unfortunately, we're going to have a tactical retreat on a better positions, and we're going to let the Russians over there manage because we killed too many of them, and we give them a breathe or something. Oh, my God. See you later, guys.